What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Chris here for GQ37. Today I'm just going to do a quick video on how to change out a mirror on your 350Z if you need to. The reason I'm doing it is I decided I want to just swap it with a black mirror. I could paint that one black, but in case I want to go back to orange, that way it's easy. So I've got a black mirror I got off eBay. I've got a set of 2 of them. So the first thing we're going to do is have to take off this door panel. You have to take off the door panel to do a lot of things, and so I'm just going to show you how easy it is. Here we go. First thing you're going to need to do is use a plastic trim remover tool, and you're going to need to pop off the cover here. And mine is painted flat black. I refinished this stuff in another video on the channel here because it was all scuffed up. Pop that off. You're going to reveal 2 10mm bolts. It's easiest if you start at the bottom. I have a little plastic trim remover tool. Then you've got 2 10mm bolts, one on the bottom, one on the top. This one you're going to definitely need some extension for. So I'm going to use my drill attachment just to speed things up a little bit. All right, once those are out, just going to pull out like so. Now, getting this back in is a little bit more difficult. Just getting that lined up, but that's an animal all in of itself. Next step is for the window switch trim. And really, you can't do this on the driver's side because it doesn't have the door pull. That's why I'm showing this one. Driver's side is the same way. It's actually a little easier because you don't have this. But since you have a hole here, you can just pull it up with your finger like I just did. All right, then you're going to need to disconnect your plastic connectors here for your window switch. I'm going to use a flathead for that. I'm going to push in the switch and pull it out. All right, it's one of those push and pull kind of mechanisms. I'm going to set that there. All right, then behind the door handle there's a plastic piece we're going to pop out. Next, you're going to have a bolt behind the door handle here. So there's a little plastic piece here you're going to pop out. Use this plastic trim remover tool to not gum up the door. There we go. Sometimes you have to come in from this way. And I have vinyl wrapped my, my inserts. That's in another video as well. And then you'll have another 10mm bolt behind that. Once you've got all those bolts out, then it's a matter of pulling all along the side of the door. You have these little plastic fasteners that go all the way around, and you're just going to have to separate those. And then the door hangs on this window ledge here. You'll hear them kind of pop. Try not to break them, but you know, sometimes that does happen. You can buy replacements really cheap. I'll put a link in the video description where you can get replacements. All right, once you've got all the edges popped off, the door is going to be really loose. It'll just kind of flop like this, but it's still hanging on the top. There's a hook on it to keep it from falling, because this is the tricky part. You have to lift that up and hold it while you're disconnecting the door handle. There's a hook and like a antenna type rod, flexible rod that goes from that door handle to this one. And also you're going to have to push this through, and you have a lighting system that plugs in on some of the models. This is a 2006. The earlier ones didn't have the cup holder there, so there may not be a light. But there's actually, yeah, I don't think there's a light on it here, but there is a couple things you have to unhook. So I'll try to show you that, but I'm also going to need both hands. So here we go. Okay, so I'm holding the door up. As you can see, my car used to be red. I've had it fully repainted and everything, including the door jambs, but not behind the doors. So we've got a few things we're going to have to unhook. This, I'll need my hands for that, but I'm just showing you. We've got this gray one here, which is a light. This one down here, that one's pretty easy. But the door handle that I was talking about is right in here. If I can show you. There's a ball that goes in there, and you have to lift it up and out of the way. Just pay really close attention how it goes in there so you can put it back. All right, I wish I could show you better, but I only have one hand holding this door right now and the camera, so I'm gonna have to do this and show you afterwards. And ta-da, there we go. So once you disconnect the gray one, if your Z has that, then those are the only things holding it in. But I suggest doing the door lock and the door handle first. There's a ball bearing that goes, I think, for the door handle. And then this is the door lock, I believe. It's a little curved notch, if you can see that. It fits down into this other side here. So the door little ball part, I had some tape holding it in there from previous, but the ball portion fits in this white thing and then pulls down, all right? And then the door lock mechanism is gonna fit into this little hole. If you can see that from the, can't show you very good on this angle, but it comes down and it slides down into that, all right? Now you can get to your mirror if that's what you're doing here. This is going to slide down. So to do a lot of things, whether you're replacing the window regulator, if you have to do the window relearn mechanism, I think it's behind that one. I've shown that in a video on my FX35. If you're replacing your speakers, or if you're going to do your door catch, then you have to take your speaker out and you get to the door catches there if you're replacing those. So a lot of things require taking the door off here. Anyway, but we're going to replace this mirror. So there's a couple of the bolts for that. I'm going to go ahead and remove this tweeter panel. All right, so that's just going to pull down easily. So you're going to want to disconnect the brown connector there for your tweeter. And this just pulls down gently. All right. Then you're going to reveal 3 10mm nuts there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and loosen these. Okay. Disconnect this like so. There is a kind of a little notch here that protects it from falling out. Gonna have to kind of pull that down. I don't know if you can see that. We are clear. One mirror down. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and replace it with the other one. All right, so I've got the new mirror in. I'm just gonna plug it in and I'm just gonna test it real quick. Before I go any further, I wanna make sure that the mechanism of the power mirror is working. So I'm just gonna plug this in and test it. All right, I'm gonna reach over here and put it on the passenger side and see if it's working. All right, so the mirror works. I just checked it and I turned on the car and plugged it back in. While the door panel's off, if you need to replace your door catches, like in here, that's easy to do that. You just remove your speaker. They're not too expensive. They're around 30 bucks a piece or so. If you're on a tight budget, you can fix those. I have a separate video on how to fix those, take them apart, and fix them for free, just turning little rubber grommet inside. Sideways, I have a video, I did that on my FX35, but it's exactly the same part, so you could do that here as well. I'll put a link up there if you want to do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to put this door back together. It's just a reverse order of what we just did to take it apart. So when it's done, it'll look like this. And boom, there it is, all put back together. So there it is, new mirror is on. I like the way that looks. From a distance, the paint doesn't look too bad. They were pretty scuffed up when I got them, so I sanded them and repainted them. Resprayed them with this Krylon all-in-one, the gloss. The same thing I use when I paint wheels, and it holds up really well. But the only part that's really gonna be seen for me is kind of in there. I'm gonna put these carbon fiber caps on, and that's why I wanted a black mirror, just because I didn't want to see any orange in there. I just kind of wanted it to blend in, so that's kind of what I'm going to do with that. But anyway, hopefully this is helpful to somebody watching this. If so, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.